when it comes to health, thinking about both physical and mental health, eating well vitamins and making sure to have a good balance. So that is really important. And then here too, overall self. So thinking about the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Funny, I actually grew up with a fourfold way of life, and all four of those that kind of nails all of them. So that's cool. It's all in the balance, but again, mostly food. So today we have a very special guest to me, my dad, Gary McLeod. He's a chiropractor in Three Rivers, Michigan. So today he's going to be talking about the dream lifestyle and dream of healthy living. So this will be a good kind of little segue into there, and I'm going to let him take it over. Dad, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to switch this over to your PowerPoint. So that'll just take me 1 second, and I'll unmute you so you're ready to go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see everyone today, and I hope you had a great weekend. Got some rest and rejuvenation. And as Connor confessed, I'm her dad, and Connor, over the last many years, has lived what we call a chiropractic lifestyle. And I like the answers that you gave to when you think of health, physical, mental, food, spiritual. That's a lot of what we're going to be talking about here today. So, Connor, am I good to go?
Yes, you're good to go.
I'll keep rolling. All right. What we're going to talk about is what I've always taught patients to do in order to be healthy. I'm a chiropractor, as Connor said. I've been in practice for almost 39 years. And I've always taught patients they have to dream to be healthy. And dream, of course, is spelled D-R-E-A-M. And you guys have already hit on some of the features of what the dream is. There's no silver single magic bullet to being healthy. There's a whole bunch of things that we all have choices that we get to make, and those lifestyle choices will ultimately affect our health. So the D is the diet, and you guys nailed that one right up front. The D for diet is not only the food you put in your mouth, but it's the stuff you put in your brain. When we talk about a diet, there are all sorts of different diets out there, paleo to vegetarian to, I don't know. They're all out there. But there's really no secret to losing weight. The important thing about weight loss is to burn more calories than you consume. And the different types of diets out there will work for some people and not others because it just doesn't work for them. But the bottom line is you have to move more and eat less if you want to burn some calories and be healthy. But diet isn't just about calories. It's the other stuff that you put in it also. In our house, we've always tried to eat healthy foods, try to avoid things that are pink, processed, and refined. The more processed the food, the worse it is for you. So try to eat lower on the food chain. Try to eat organic. Try to eat things that aren't packaged. Breakfast at our house has always been a very important meal. That was my job. I'm just not a good sleeper. I get up in the morning, and I didn't want the kids to just eat carbohydrates, just have sweetened cereal with a little bit of milk on it and run off to school. I always got up and made some sort of protein, bacon, sausage, eggs, fruit, toast, something to go with that. Protein has staying power. The just loading up on carbs, your sugar is going to go up, and then it's going to come down. And in about 2 hours, you're going to be napping at your desk. You don't want that. You want to eat something with a little bit of staying power. So diet is not only what goes in your mouth, it's what goes in your head. What are you listening to on the TV? For the last 2 or 3 months, boy, you can get a dose of negativity no matter what station you're watching. But there's just all sorts of stuff going on, and talking heads like to spin it, and just by the time the day is over, if I'm watching that for 2 hours on end, I'm depressed. So be careful what you put in your mind. Very important. In the morning, we don't watch the news in our house. Not a good way to set my gyroscope. And now in our house, I'm trying to watch 30 minutes of the local news, followed by 30 minutes of national news. And that's my daily dose. I like to read a lot, positive books. Stuff that goes in here is good. So the next thing in the dream, is the R. which is for rest. Rest is easy to understand. Rest is when you go to sleep, and what happens when you go to sleep is your body rebuilds, replenishes, and restores. The food that you ate during the day is going to get turned into cells. Most of this repair and cell replication will happen when the body's not busy doing other stuff. So what you ate for dinner, lunch, or breakfast is now going to get turned into essential things that are essential for life inside you. If you eat too many calories during the day or at any time, the excess gets stored as fat. So rest is very good for the body to rejuvenate. 6 to 7 hours sleep is good. We'd always recommend to sleep either on your back or on your side. Don't sleep on your belly. You want to avoid that. But rest also, you need some downtime for your brain. Just a little bit of relaxation time. Maybe turn off the TV before you go to bed. Some patients like to meditate, but try to shut off your brain a little bit sometime during the day. The E is for exercise. Exercise. I pause here because, well, I'm going to tell you what I like to do. What I like to do is a minimum. I don't like to exercise. That's the bottom line. So I like to do high intensity interval training when I do it. I have to confess to the COVID thing. I'm off my pattern. I used to be a 3-day-a-week exerciser. I haven't exercised 3 times in the last 3 months, to be honest with you. And I paid for that when I water skied on Sunday or Saturday, whatever that was. That's a lot more work than it's supposed to be. But exercise is something we need to do to burn calories. It also produces endorphins, which are happy hormones, which makes you feel better. If you don't use your body, you're going to lose your body. If you don't use your muscles, you're going to lose your muscles. Exercise is also good for preserving the calcium in your bones. If your body perceives that it doesn't need calcium, it doesn't need strong bones, and it will leak that calcium out. So you need to physically work your body. Exercise is good for your muscles. It allows you to maintain strength. It can also enhance your flexibility. And also when you're exercising, your heart rate gets up, so you're pumping your blood through your body quite regularly, so it can process through your filters, your liver, your kidneys, get the blood moving, get the air flowing. It's just good to test the system once in a while. So aerobic exercise, which means get your heart rate up, and then some weightlifting, so you're using all your muscles against some type of resistance. But you don't only need to exercise your body, you need to exercise your brain. As for having a hobby is a good idea. Reading books, engaging in conversation, a little bit of civil debate is okay to do. But just do something to keep the gray matter stirred up. Again, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. You don't want this turning into a gelatinous blob. So we've talked about diet, we've talked about rest, we've talked about exercise, and the A is for me, the A is very important. It's the chiropractic adjustment. And just a quick anatomy lesson. Your brain runs your body. Your brain is the first body organ that's made. The brain tells the rest of the body where to be made, when to be made, and how to be made. Your brain and nerves control all life functions throughout your entire life. So all life begins in the brain, travels down your spine, out the nerves, every cell, organ, and tissue of your body. So when you begin to eat, without even thinking about it, you begin to salivate, and that's your brain has told your mouth that food's coming. The first thing we need to do is to produce saliva, because saliva is the first step of digestion. Then you add the muscles that are going to chew. Guess what tells your muscles how to chew? It's your brain. And then after you chew it, you swallow it, and without thinking of it, that food gets squished down to your stomach, just the esophagus, esophagus squeezes the food down to the stomach without even thinking. There's this peristaltic waves that massage the food down. The brain's automatically doing it. You digest the food, you absorb the nutrients, you get rid of the waste. Without even thinking about it, your brain did that for you. So the adjustment is essential to your diet. When you rest, your brain is, even though you're asleep, your brain's telling you to breathe and telling your heart how to pump, and you don't have to think about it. So that's a pretty good deal. And the food that you ate, again, the digestion, while you're resting, the body is going to be sorting things out, absorbing what it needs, getting rid of what it doesn't want. And when you exercise, your brain's in control of all of your muscles. So we talked about diet, rest, exercise, the adjustment, and then the M is for mental attitude. And there were some comments in the chats about emotional well-being. I don't have the chat box open right now, but sometimes emotional well-being. That's what mental attitude is. I like to think about what good is going to happen as opposed to thinking about what's bad is going to happen. And that's where relaxation techniques, church, studying the Bible, positive influences. Think about being well as opposed to being sick. Focus on what you want to be, not what you want to avoid. So if you want to lose a few pounds, focus on weighing 140 pounds. Don't focus on, oh my goodness, I'm 145 pounds and I don't like it. Focus on 140 pounds or whatever your goal might be. And then keeping that in the forefront of your mind will help you to move toward that goal. So let's think of these things. We've got diet, rest, exercise, adjustment, and mental attitude. Imagine those as spokes on a wheel. And now you see that pretty bicycle there. And imagine that those different spokes, one spoke is for diet, one is for rest, one's for exercise, one's the adjustment and the mental attitude. If all of the spokes are getting equal attention, the wheel's in balance and it's a pretty smooth ride. The flowers don't fall out of the basket. But if one of those spokes becomes too long or too loose, it gets out of balance, the ride gets rough, you get symptoms, the flowers start to shake, and eventually the flowers fall out of the basket and the pipe falls over. Now, the cool thing is each of us has control out of each of the elements of the dream wheel. We choose, through our own personal responsibility, what we put in our mouth. We choose how much rest we're going to get at night. Choose whether or not we're going to exercise. You can choose whether you take care of your spine, and you can choose what you do for your mental attitude and mental disposition. So maybe it's good news, maybe it's bad news, but that personal responsibility and accepting what you do to dream to be healthy is up to you. Now, right now the coronavirus, as we know, is going on, and people are wondering what they can do to be well. The important thing is to know that it's the health of the host, it's the health of your body that is going to determine whether or not you're affected by any germ. And think of an elementary class, there's 20 kids in there one day, and tomorrow 2 of them are out with a cold or a flu. Those 2 kids didn't get hit with a great big germ, and the other one's just a little one. All those kids are exposed to the same germs. Why did just 2 of them get sick and not all 20 of them? It had to do with the health of the host, the health of the individual. You'll have better health, be better able to resist any type of germ if you can pay some attention to the dream, the diet, rest, exercise, adjustment, and mental attitude, and knowing that there is no magic silver bullet, and no one else is going to save you from yourself. You have to assume personal responsibility for what you can and accept the consequences for what you can. At this point, I am going to open that up for any questions that anyone might have. Connor, anything on your mind?
Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll open it up for some questions here. I mean, there's nothing on my mind. I feel like I've heard this a lot of times, but but if anybody does have any questions, feel free to pop those in the chat or in the Q&A. Angela, I do show that you have your hand raised. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I can give you if you did want to talk, just let me know, and I've given you a little. You're good?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I did not mean to raise my hand, but I did want to ask what was you said, I enjoyed your whole presentation. That was really neat. How you broke that down. I just wanted to, can you just go through the letters and just say what each of them mean one more time for me?
Sure. Yeah, the D is for diet. R is for rest. E is for exercise. A is for adjustment. And M is for mental attitude.
Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that. You broke it down really nicely. Yeah. So thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Connor.
Yeah, you're welcome. Awesome. I'm just checking that. I haven't seen anything else pop up in the chat. But if anybody has any questions, I've got the direct line to him. So just let me know. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to connect you guys too. Yeah, this was really great. I hope it gives you guys just a sense of what that balance can look like. And yeah, if anybody needs anything, as always, you guys can send me an email, shoot me a text, message me on Facebook, whatever works best. And we'll see you guys tomorrow again at 11. Thanks so much, Jed.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.